there was your grip before. You can see your right thumb sort of certainly looking down the grip to the right of the grip there. Palm is kind of facing up to the sky, hand underneath, and that's going to cause the club face to what we call close as you make contact with the golf ball, okay? And therefore, if you try to keep it straight, you're forced to sort of push your hands forward. When we did that sort of slow motion swing from up here, you went kind of like, where are my hands? They came back in a really kind of contorted way, okay? So that was the issue with the grip there. You can see that right hand one now, much better, okay? You might find it a little bit tricky with those clubs. They're absolutely fine at the moment now to get you started, okay? But because they're a little bit thicker, it will probably be a little bit more awkward. If I was the way to look at it, it'd be like saying, right, go on a 10k with a pair of trainers that are a little bit too big for you. You could still kind of do it, but it wouldn't be as comfortable, okay? It's not going to be the end of the world, because they're like 4 sizes too small, but just a little bit on the thick side, okay? So now in terms of the movement, as we said, we're trying to maintain the width there that you've got with your arms and the club at setup, okay? Now you maintain a good start position here. As you go back, it's just keeping that width in the swing. Now this can look very, very small in terms of the difference. Probably so much, if I didn't show you the difference, you'd be like, oh, what is the difference kind of thing, okay? But if we zoom in and now we'll see it as we go back. So as you go back here now, club face and hands now quite close to the body. Your left wrist starting to curve this way and your arm is starting to bend slightly, okay? Compare that movement now there, okay? If I put that there and that there, doesn't look that much in terms of the gap from there, there to there, okay? But it's slightly bigger on that right-hand side. It doesn't have to be that much bigger to be that much different down there. The game of golf, we're talking inches, less than inches sometimes makes a big difference, okay? So if we can maintain that width as we go back, then the club can start getting the top end further. As we then start coming back to the golf ball, there's no need to try and drop the head, throw the arms out, bend the knees, or do something to compensate for what you've done on the way back. If we start in a good position, as you certainly are now, we're up there, we maintain it, back down there, we return it. If you're doing this, something has to happen on the way down to compensate for this. If you don't, you're just going to go whew, and miss the ball. Then you start going, well, you need to get the club lower. How can I get the golf club lower? Bend the knees, throw my shoulder down, throw my arms out, a combination of all three, and then you just guesswork it. You might get it good 1 or 2 times, but you go on the driving range, you get frustrated because you'll hit 1 or 2 really good shots, and one pings off there, one goes there, one. They're all over the place, aren't they? So he's keeping that width in the swing as we go through. Again, through the ball there, nice full swing there. We're starting to see a bit more sort of twist onto that left side now. So this right foot now, we discussed last time, starting to lift a bit more now, which is great. That will just start moving more and more over time the more you play golf, okay? I wouldn't worry about that too much. The fact your hip's twisting there, this foot will just say, okay, I can start learning what this foot needs to do. We may sort of give you a little bit of thought process to work on that when time comes, but at the moment now, she's starting to just find her own way to kind of move that way anyway. Don't add too many thoughts to your swing, basically, okay? We can just focus on keeping that width, keep that club nice and high. So we turn, we return, and just swish your arm to the bottom, okay? If the arm width stays kind of constant, okay? Keep that width up here. We don't need to try and do this or that or anything of the like, okay? So grip certainly better. As much as you can, I would try and sort of practice that. So if I sort of zoom in on these two, you can sort of see we get like a sort of screenshot version of where you were when it was good and when it was bad. So when you're on the range or when you're practicing in front of the mirror or put your phone there, you can see the difference where your right hand, the fact I can see a lot more grip on here means your thumb is not covering the grip. That's all it comes down to. If your hand's in this position, now the grip's visible between sort of your index finger and the thumb. When your thumb goes around this way more, because it's more in the fingers down here, you get more club on top, more grip on top. As I said, when you grip it down here in the fingers, you feel a little bit like you're almost gripping onto that club just because the club's a little bit thicker in terms of the grip position, okay? So that will take a little bit of getting used to, okay? But generally speaking, if your arm's in a more neutral spot, the club now can swing a lot more effectively. Hopefully return back to more consistency. Okie dokie?